Hi, here we have honors algebra 2 math problem. So we have an exponential equation over there. So we have to solve this equation without a calculator. Okay, solve means we have to find the value of the unknown we have in the equation. So here unknown is the variable x we have in this equation. And also in this equation we have the variable at the exponent. So that's why I call this one as an exponential equation. So without using calculator, we have to solve. That is, we have to find the value of the variable x in this equation. Okay, so whenever I'm trying to solve for the variable which is at the exponent in an equation, so what I need to do is I have to get the same base on both sides. For example, here we have base 3 in the given equation on the left side. So the same base we must have on the other side, I mean on the right side of the equation. So once I get the same base on both sides of the equation, I can equate the exponents and I can solve for x. Okay, now my aim is to get a base 3 on the right side. So for that, I have to check whether 243 is a power of 3. It must be a power of 3. So that we'll have the same base and we can equate the exponents. So let's try to write this 243 as a power of 3. For that, what I need to do is I have to decompose 243 into the factor 3. So for that, we can use synthetic division. So let's check whether 243 is divisible by 3. So for that, we have to add the digits in 243. So 2 plus 4 is 6, 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 is a multiple of 3. So 243 is divisible by 3. So I divide it by 3. I'm trying to divide 243 by 3. So 3 goes into 2 0 times. So we can take 24. 3 goes into 24 8 times. 3 goes into 3 1 times. And now 8 plus 1, 9. So when I add the digits in 81, 8 plus 1 is 9. So 9 is a multiple of 3. So we can divide 81. I mean 81 is divisible by 3. So when I divide 81 by 3, 3 goes into 8 twice. So 2 times 8 is 6 and we have 2 left in 8. So that 2 can be written along with the next digit, then it will become 21. So in 21, how many 3s are there? I mean how many times 3 goes into 21? 7 times. Okay, here 2 plus 7, again 9. 9 is a multiple of 3. So 27 is divisible by 3. We can divide it by 3. 3 goes into 27 9 times. Again, I divide it by 3. 3 goes into 9 thrice. So I'm getting a prime number over here. We can stop this process. So 243 equals to what? 3 times, 3 times, 3 times, 3 times 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when I multiply 3 by itself for 5 times, I'm getting 243. So 243 is equal to, so instead of writing 3 times, 3 times 3, 5 times, we can write 3 to the 5th power. So 243 equals to 3 to the 5th power. So 243 is a power of 3. Okay, now let me go to the given equation. That is 3 to the power x square positive 4x. So here on the right side, instead of 243, we can write 3 to the 5th power because 3 to the 5th power is the value which is equal to 243. So 3 to the 5th power. As I told you earlier, I got the same base on both sides. So here the two terms are equal with the same base 3. So whenever two terms are equal with the same base, we can equate the exponents. Then I'm getting x square positive 4x equals to 5. Okay, now so I can subtract 5 so that I'll be getting a standard form of quadratic equation on the left side, which is ax square positive bx positive c equals to 0. So once I get the quadratic equation in this form, I think I can solve it by factoring if it is possible. Otherwise, I can use quadratic formula to solve the quadratic equation, which is in the form ax square positive bx positive c equals to 0. But so before trying to solve this one, please make sure that the given quadratic equation is in the form of ax square positive bx positive c equals to 0. That is, we must have 0 on the right side. So, but here we don't have 0 on the right side, we have 5. So to make the right side 0, I have to subtract 5 from both sides. So this 5, positive 5, negative 5 will cancel out on the right side. I get x square positive 4x negative 5 equals to 0. Now this quadratic equation is exactly in the form of ax square positive bx positive c equals to 0. Okay, let's try to solve this quadratic equation by factoring. If it doesn't work, we may have to go with quadratic formula. Okay, so here the coefficient of x square is actually there is no any number in front of x square. So we have to assume the coefficient of x square is 1. In that case, we have to take the constant term. We have the quadratic equation that is negative 5. So now I have to get two factors for this negative 5. such that the product is equal to -5 and the sum is equal to the middle term +4. So I think I can take +5, -1. When I multiply +5 and -1, I'm getting -5. When I combine these two values, it is +4. That is a coefficient of x. So whenever I factor quadratic equations like this, so I have to make sure the factoring meets two conditions. So the product of the two factors is equal to the constant of -5, and the sum of the two factors is equal to the coefficient of x. Okay, now what I can do is x square, and I can split up the middle term into two parts using these two factors, +5 and -1. So the 4x can be written as +5x, -1x, and -5 equals to 0. Okay, here, what is the greatest common divisor? I mean, I think we can factor this expression by grouping. So I consider the first two terms as one group, the next two terms as another group. So what is the common divisor for the terms in the first group? X. So x can be factored out. Okay, to know the stuff inside the parenthesis, you divide this one by x, this one by x. I divide both the terms by the one I factored out. When I divide x squared by x, I'm getting just one positive. Sorry, when I divide x squared by x, I'm just getting x positive. When I divide this 5x by the one I factored out, that is x, this x will cancel out. I'll be getting +5. Okay, now, so what can be factored out from the second group? I think -1 can be factored. Okay, to get the stuff inside the parentheses over here, you divide both the terms by the one I factored, which is -1. When I divide this one by -1, this -1 will cancel out. I'll be getting +x. Okay, so to get the second term, I have to divide this -5 by this -1. So this negative will become, will cancel. That means it will become positive. 5 over 1 will be just +5 equals to 0. So what's the greatest common divisor for these two terms? Clearly it's x +5. So x +5 can be factored out from these two terms. So when I factor x +5 out, what do I get in the second parenthesis? For that, you have to divide the first term by the one you factor, that is x +5. So this one will cancel out. I just get x, the first term. So to know what I have left in the second term, I have to divide this one by the x +5. So this one will cancel out. I have left -1 in the second term equals to 0. So here, the product of the two binomials x +5 and x -1 equals to 0. So either x +5 equals to 0 or x -1 equals to 0. Okay, to solve for x, I have to subtract 5 from both sides. Then +5, -5 cancel out. I get x equals to -5. And here I am adding 1 to both sides to solve for x. I'm getting x is equal to +1. So I get two values for x. One is -5 and the other one is x is equal to 1. And both the values of x will satisfy the given equation because the given equation is exponential equation. So whatever values we are getting for x, all the values will satisfy the given exponential equation. So the answer for this question is -5 and +1.